presence is a gift, not just because we like to say it and it sounds good, but your presence is a gift because so many people are not present. So many people are in the memories of their past right here in this moment. So many people are concerned about the future right here in this moment. Speaking of kindness, I'm reminded of how sometimes it can be a lost art in today's world, where we're so used to pulling out our cell phones to capture moments that you get to witness a generation of people who forget how to be in the present and how to assist when someone is in need rather than just pulling out our cell phones and recording. It just reminded me of, I want to say about 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago, I was on one of my walks like I'm doing right now. And as I approached a corner that I'm familiar with, I saw a woman who was standing alongside the road over here. And she was like outside of her car. She looked frantic. And as I stared a little bit further, not too far off in the distance from her, it looked like a motorcycle had been like mangled in the street. And then I turned my gaze and it was a kid lying in the grass. And so she was frantic because she had collided with this kid who was on a motorcycle and he was clearly injured. So my first instinct was, oh my God, are they okay? And do they need me to call 911? She didn't speak any English, but she was able to say, I called the police. And so I just went into nurturing mode. I literally went over to the kid. Of course, I'm not a medic or anything, but I went over to him because he was moaning and kicking his legs up. And the woman was really frantic. She didn't know what to do. She was in shock and traumatized by what had happened. He had some injuries to his head, but I think his hand or arms were mostly, something was broken and had some bleeding. But it wasn't super profusely, but it was enough to know that he was in pain. And so my instincts kicked in for me to just kneel over him. And I just lightly touched his hand. And I told him, you're okay. You're okay. God is with you. You're okay. God is with you. Help is on the way. Because I could hear the ambulance in the distance. They were actually on the way. But as soon as I came over and I said those words to him, he was trembling. But he just kept saying, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And I picked his phone up because he was trying to talk to the medic because he had called 911 on his cell phone. And I was telling her that they're on the way. I could see them. And I just kept comforting him. And I just went into prayer mode and just, wanted him to feel loved and protected and provided for, even in the midst of his trauma. Also, in my moment of prayer, I went into my revision mode because it's part of how I've learned how to practice existing now. It's something that I use on the spot now when I'm encountering something that's unpleasant for myself and for others. And so I just saw him on his bike well. And it was like a millisecond of a moment that I allowed my mind to go there while I was praying for him and with him. Now, fast forward, I don't know what's happened to that young man, but as the ambulance came up, I made sure that they grabbed his helmet, they put him on a stretcher, they did their thing, and I got out of the way. And I'm not gonna lie, that moment kind of rattled me, but then I had a moment to breathe through it and say, you know what? I hope that my acknowledgement of him gave him some sort of comfort in that moment, because if anything were to have happened to me in that way, I would appreciate someone stopping and being concerned and checking on me and reminding me of God's love. And I get a little emotional talking about it, but it's something that I just want anybody who's watching this video to be conscious of. Try to be present, because presence is a gift, not just because we like to say it and it sounds good, but your presence, your mind being in the here and now, not too far off in the future and not stuck on things of the past, but your presence is a gift because you get to be there for other people. You get to show up in a way that people respect and that they honor and they cherish, because so many people are not present. So many people are in the memories of their past right here in this moment. So many people are concerned about the future right here in this moment. And the practice that I've cultivated of being present allowed me to be there for someone else in a way that I'm sure they appreciate, because I could feel it. And he also told me thank you. And the woman, as I was walking off from that scene and the police were taking her information, she yelled at me from a distance, "Thank you, gracias, señorita, gracias." And that's what made me emotional, because it was like, I wasn't checking for that. I wasn't looking for anything. I was just being, and I could see what the need was from there. So this is your reminder to practice being present, because presence is a present. It is a gift to yourself and others. This is your reminder. You got this.